What's going on? It's Wednesday.
Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's Wednesday, so this is Waffle on a Wednesday, where I answer your questions to the best of my ability. And for those of you that are new here, my name's Mel. Welcome to my world. And if you're a regular viewer, welcome back. And if you're a subscriber of my channel, then thank you so much for your subscription and your support. I really do appreciate it. Right, let's get on with this week's Waffle on a Wednesday. Now, a majority of my content is all about self-built camper vans, me showing you how I built this camper van. The big problem that most people come across though is where do they convert their vans, and this question is quite relevant to that, and this comes from Mr. Wellbird. Hi Mel, I'm struggling to find a place where I can convert my van. I don't have space where I live. Any advice would be appreciated. Where can I convert my van? Now, I was fortunate enough to once have a workshop where I learnt my craft and my skills. I used to have quite a big workshop. It was underneath a railway arch, and I've converted loads of vans under there. But like all good things, it finally come to an end when Railtrack decided nobody was allowed under the arches because of the risk of asbestos. So they basically booted us all out, gave us a month's notice. And I was midway through building a camper van at the time. I didn't quite get it finished in time for us to move out. So I started to build my camper van in a graveyard of all places. Not in the graveyard car park. But it was adjacent to a mortuary that I was also renting and living in. So yeah, I pretty much finished building that van in a car park. Now, if you really are struggling to find somewhere to work on your van, just pack up your van, all the stuff you need. After all, it's a van. It's amazing how much stuff you can actually get inside a van. Make sure all your batteries to your power tools are charged and go to an industrial estate. Find a unit that is vacant and just simply park outside that industrial unit. Get everything out of your van and start building it. Nobody will bat an eyelid. You're just some guy working on a van in an industrial estate. People will just drive past, not take any notice. But the trick is to make sure you don't leave any rubbish behind. Always clean up after you. Take your rubbish with you. Don't leave a mess behind. But for this you need good weather, and if it does happen to be a rainy day, just find a big motorway bridge, the type of bridge that goes over an A road, and you'll see that underneath those bridges you've got banks on each side or high curbs each side. I actually made a video of myself doing the insulation in my full transit in the pouring hard of rain underneath such a bridge. I'll see if I can find it and I'll put a link to it up here. It's quite entertaining. I've also worked in Wicks's car park and B&Q's car park, and if you're lucky to have a home base near you, you can use their car park. Just bear in mind you are limited on the time you're allowed to spend in their car parks. The great thing about using a DIY store car park to build out your van, you've got everything on hand that you need. If you should need an odd bolt or screw or bit of wood, you can simply pop into the shop and buy said items. But do bear in mind you are limited on time. I actually ended up getting a fine from, I think it was Wicks's. So just bear that in mind. And once again, make sure you take all the rubbish with you. Don't leave it in the car park. Just clean up behind you. Be a bit respectful. Nobody will know you've been there. Leave no trace, and in that way, when you need to work on your van again, you can go back and do exactly the same thing again. I do hope that helps, and good luck with your build. What has happened to your camera gear? All the clips are so pow compared to earlier clips, and that comes from iTail John. Well John, I've got a brand new camera and I'm still experimenting with the picture profiles and the lighting. Hopefully this lighting is a bit better for you. My camera is a Sony ZV-E10 and I'm following the advice from another YouTuber called Mark Benedict, and if you're interested in using a Sony ZV-E10, I highly recommend his channel. It is really informative, really thorough, but most importantly it's really entertaining. I'll leave a link down below where you can find all you need to know about the Sony ZV-E10. Thanks for the great question. I'd like to also say thank you to Mark Benedict for all his great advice, and hopefully this picture is a little bit better than my previous videos. Like I say, I'm still experimenting with this camera and with the lighting. I hope you enjoy. Hi Mel, did your water tank ever froze during winter? Mr. Wallbird asked that, and no, my water tank has never froze because it's underneath my bed and I direct heat from my diesel heater, which I've just switched off because I just realised it's making a lot of noise. But anyway, no, my diesel heater directs heat underneath my bed straight towards my water tank which stops it freezing in the winter. To be honest, we don't really get that colder winters here in the UK anyway. They're quite mild compared to most places, like Canada for instance. No, I've never yet had trouble with any of my water tanks freezing in the winter, and I'm now in my second winter living in a van full time. And like I said last week, don't put your water tanks outside and underneath your van if that's something you're worried about. Put them inside, there's plenty of room after all. Now this next question comes from Mark Farrell, and he asks a question about re-registering your van as a camper van. Does it cost any duty or VAT? I'm currently about to convert my van. No, it doesn't cost you anything to re-register your van with the DVLA as a camper van, but the chances are it will come back as a van with windows, but good luck with that. My van is actually a van with windows according to the DVLA. This is not a camper van. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Something really needs to be done about it. Hello Mel, loved the vids. What are your views on the new laws on camper vans they are trying to bring into force? Steve Simpson asked that question. The media and social media are making a big fuss over all these new laws coming in, and I get messages about it all the time. Me personally, I'm not worried about the new laws because I consider myself as being a decent human being. I always clean up after me, and very rarely do I travel with a group of people. Those new laws, however, I think are aimed at people that travel in huge groups, and they leave mess and destruction wherever they go, and they leave the local council the bill to clean it all up. And if you're really unfortunate and you're a farmer and you get visited by such people, then the farmer is down to him to pay for all that mess to be cleaned up. They're the sort of people I think those laws are aimed at. If you're a decent human being and you clean up your mess and take it with you, then I think you've got nothing to worry about. But if you are the sort of person that travels in a large group and you do leave a mess wherever you go, then those laws are aimed at you. As long as you're decent and you don't leave a load of mess behind you, I don't think you've got anything to worry about. But I'm sure a lot of people will be leaving comments about that one. I look forward to hearing from you. Right, next question, before I dig a big hole I'm not going to be able to get out of. I like this. I think you van lifers have it too easy these days. Smiley face wink. When we had to prime the old diesel mixers on a building site back in the day during the war, we used to deploy old suck and spit method. Sort of spoiled the taste of sandwiches and coffee, but it worked. That comes from Pete Morning. Well Pete, I'll let you into a little secret. When I first fitted my very first diesel heater, that's exactly how I primed my fuel line. I simply gave it a little suck, and yeah, I did get a mouthful and I did spit it out, and it was washed out with plenty of coffee with a little tad of rum. Done the trick. Yeah, don't worry mate, I've sucked more diesel than I'd like to admit. Now if you're really posh like Greem Allison, he says, or they say I should say, the best way I found to prime my diesel heater is with a syringe. Pull the fuels up through the pump easily and gets rid of all the air and bubbles. Simple. Well done Greem, that's a brilliant idea. Just use a syringe and suck it and see. Yeah, what didn't I think of that? Oh dear. Now I've had quite a few questions this week concerning Rebecca's van, and I think it'll be a lot better to answer those questions inside her van. So let's jump over there and answer some of those questions. Well, welcome back to Rebecca's van. Now here's a little spoiler alert. She has actually decided to paint these recesses white, despite a lot of people saying leave them natural. I myself was a bit undecided, but now she's painted them white, I think it looks really nice. And when she gets the blinds in, that's going to break the colour down. I think she's going to go for an aqua colour blind. Not sure, so if you want to see the rest of this van and how it turns out, then make sure you do subscribe to Rebecca's channel. I'll put a link down below for your convenience. Do go check out her channel, it's really interesting and completely different to mine. Now she will be taking these cupboards down. A lot of you said, yep, take at least one cupboard down, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. That is an up and coming video, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss me taking these cupboards down and rebuilding them and making them a lot smaller. Now back to the recesses. When we made this video, there's one thing I did miss out, and a lot of people have commented on that, and I'll just read these comments out. How many inches did you gain after that work? And that comes from Nick's Trex. And Chris Tate asks a similar question. Hi Mel, curious to know previous length of bed to the finished length of the bed now that the extension has been achieved. So let's have a little measure up and I'll let you know exactly what it was prior to the work and after. It was 5 foot 6 inches to begin with, and after the work we did, I think it's just a tad over 6 foot. We achieved it. And that is a tad over 6 foot. Now somebody else said to me, how high is Rebecca's bed? Because they wanted to know, because their bed was quite low in their Sprinter. So let's take a little look at the height. It is 2.5 feet high. It's just about level with the door runners on the outside. So inside the van you've got like a part that sticks out which allows for the door runner on the outside. So Rebecca's bed is literally just level with those door runners, and by having it at that height she's actually got her bed at the maximum width of the van, similar to mine as well. So that's how she's managed to get 6 foot wide bed. This is from Shane Marsh. What a fabulous video. You both have really cosy vans. Well, thank you Shane, that's very kind of you. Just a quick question, we love a quick question. Was that the diesel heater chugging away in the background? Yes, it was Rebecca's diesel heater. It's down here in the corner. It's a self-contained unit. I'll put a link up here if you're interested in how we installed the diesel heater in Rebecca's van. And believe me, it sounds a lot louder than it actually is because my microphone is really sensitive. Really wasn't as loud as it sounded in the video, if that makes sense. Now Lorna Penchester asks, where can we see Becky's van? Is there a tour? Can't find it on her channel. Well Lorna, I'm pretty sure Rebecca has done a tour on her channel, but I know I definitely did a tour on my channel. So if you're interested in seeing Rebecca's van in its entirety, then do check out this video here. And don't forget to subscribe to Rebecca's channel here, and I'll also put a link to my channel right there. Well, thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra for now.